Welcome to Hilary Emmanuel Ministries, where faith meets power, purity and prosperity, and breakthroughs are born. At Diadem, we equip you with bold prayers, life-transforming teachings, and spiritual strategies to overcome every challenge life throws your way. Join us as we dive into God's Word, experience His presence like never before, and walk in His purpose for our lives. If you're in London, we invite you to fellowship with us in person at Diadem, 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. Don't forget to subscribe now and let's grow in faith together.
Brethren, we have some warfare prayers to pray here today. I remember sometimes ago the Father taught us how to fight comprehensively, how to attack the enemies from the beginning to the end, how to attack the enemy's hierarchy of operation from number one to the last. Say, because where we focus our battle only on what we see, enemies that we perceive, enemies that we know, the ones we see in the dream, where we focus our battle on those ones only, we lose out, we miss out, we leave out even the major ones, the real ones. And the real ones, brethren, is Satan himself. The real ones are the spirit beings, the idols, the deities, the fallen angels, and all the powers in the foundations. Those are the real ones. But those ones have their limitations. They cannot operate on their own physically. So they need to operate. They need a body. And that's why they find human beings very, very handy and useful. That's why they find animals and birds and all other things, elements. They find those ones reliable and useful. So if we are going to fight against any of these things we see, we have to fight against the power using them. We have to fight against the power behind them. So what we want to do today, brethren, is we want to carry out a comprehensive attack on all the whole chain of command of darkness, of the enemies that are troubling us, from the first person on the top to the last person down. And that's why I'm talking to you on what I call killing Satan and his animal and human messengers. Killing Satan and his animal and human messengers. You must know this. Hardly will you see Satan himself get involved in direct attack. He doesn't get involved. Satan himself does not attack, except it's an issue that touches the whole humanity. An issue that touches either the salvation of the entire mankind. That's when you see Satan get involved personally. Since God created the heavens and the earth, Satan of himself has not been involved in direct attack. He has always used mediums and messengers. He has always used human beings and animals and birds and creeping things and all kinds of things to carry out the operation. Hardly will you find anywhere where he's involved by himself. The only time he has been involved was when he thought he could destroy the plan for the redemption of man. In John chapter 13. John chapter 13. Look at verse 21. This was at the Last Supper. At the Last Supper. When Jesus has thus said, he was troubled in the spirit and testified and said, verily I say unto you that one of you shall betray me. Then, verse 22, then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake. Now, there was leaning on Jesus' bosom one of the disciples whom Jesus loved. Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake. He then, lying on Jesus' breast, said unto him, Lord, who is it? Jesus answered, he it is to whom I shall give a sop, when I have dipped it. And when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. Verse 27, take note of this. Jesus just wanted to give them, because they asked him a question. Who is this person among us that is going to do this thing? Lord, please, who is this person? He said, I will give you a sign now. The person that I will dip this food and hand it over to, that's the person. And he did it and gave it to Judas Iscariot, verse 27. And after the sop, look at what happened. Are you there with me? After the sop, Satan himself did what? entered into Judas Iscariot. That's the only time Satan has been involved in operation. That's the only time. Satan himself entered inside Judas Iscariot. Satan cannot do the job because he needed a body. He needed a physical body to be able to carry it out. So the only body he found useful then was the body of Judas Iscariot. But this is the only direct involvement of Satan in operation, in attacks. This is the only direct involvement of Satan. So Satan entered into him. Now look at what follow. Look at what follow. Then said Jesus unto him, that thou doest, do. If you know that thing you want to do, who do you think Jesus was talking to here? He was talking to Satan himself. Jesus was addressing Satan. He said, now you have arrived. Now you have found a body. That thing you want to do, let's start. Do it quickly. And look at the move. So from that point, brethren, listen carefully. From that point, Judas Iscariot was no longer in control of his life and body and anything and mind and will and emotion anymore. Satan has now taken over his whole being. Everything he does now, Satan is the one doing everything. And this is what we are talking about. When Satan goes into a human being, when Satan possesses an animal, that animal is no longer in charge. That human being is no longer in control. It's now Satan using them to carry out the operation. That's why you discover. How can you be fighting against one animal for how many years and you're not killing that animal? What kind of animal is that? How can you be fighting against one human being for so long and that human being is not dying? What kind of human being is that? It's because something is inside them. And most times we only attack the person we see. We attack the animal we see. You that serpent, you that dog, you that cat, you that this. We attack them and then we leave the Satan that possesses them. So now look at what follows. No man, nobody at the table understood the discussion. He said no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him. For some of them thought that Jesus, because Judas was carrying the bag, that Jesus said unto him, buy those things that we had need against the feast, or that he should give some money to the poor. Verse 30, he then, having received the sum, went immediately out. He left them. So he himself will not know what he's doing anymore. He will just see that he's doing some things, taking some actions, not knowing that Satan is the one now doing everything inside him. So he went out, and it was night. Therefore, when he was gone out, Jesus said, now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. And where did he go to? He went out and went straight to the enemy's camp, to the Pharisees, to the chief priest. That's where he went to. So you now see that this is the only time that Satan has been involved in direct attack. And other times, he has always used other things. The next time again, Satan is going to be involved like this. The next time he's going to be involved is during the Antichrist. During the Antichrist. Look at Revelation chapter 13. Revelation 13, look at verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his horn 10 crowns, and upon his head the name was blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. You see, he will always use animals. He will always, where he doesn't use human beings, he will use animals. So this looked like a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon did what? Gave his power. Who is the dragon? Satan. Satan, the dragon and the serpent. So he gave his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his head as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power. Do you see that? They worship Satan, which gave power to the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him? Do you see that, brethren? Who is able to make war with him? Why are people not able to make war with the beast? It's because of the Satan, the dragon inside the beast. Why are we finding it difficult to make war with human beings, to make war with some animals? It's because of the Satan and the idols, the deities inside them. But today the Father wants us to fight them directly. The Father wants us to use weapons from heaven, whether they be demons, whether they be idols, whether they be deities, whether they be fallen angels, whether they be Satan, whatsoever name they be, together with the animals and human beings they are using, we are going to fight all of them from the top to the last. So you now see that this has been the pattern of Satan right from the very beginning, to use animals in his operations against human beings. Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3. Look at verse 1. Now, the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, so when he came to man the first time, he came in the form of a serpent. He chose to appear in the form of a serpent. He entered the serpent and came as a serpent. So he said to the woman, yea, had God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a pleasant to the eyes, and to the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. The question I was asking is this. Immediately this was happening, Eve didn't know when the snake disappeared. The conversation ended. There was nothing like, didn't I tell you? Do you see now your eyes have, let them continue the conversation. The serpent disappeared immediately because he has achieved his goal. He has achieved his purpose. So you now see that for him to achieve this great feat against man, he used animals. Why? Because God created the heavens and the earth. He gave the earth to man. Animals are also co-occupants. They are also if you like, tenants on earth. So this is our territory, together with the animals and birds and all those things that were created. So there is a limit to what spirit beings are allowed to do. So for them to be able to achieve maximally what they want to do, they need a cooperation of man or animals or birds. They need to get into collaboration with those things that were created originally to inhabit this place. Look at Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12. So that you see how Satan carries out these operations. What he does and this is what is frustrating so many people. Because you will not know who is attacking you. You think that I keep seeing different kinds of animals every day in the dream. I keep seeing human beings. I keep seeing this. I keep seeing that. We attack those things and yet they come back again. It's because of the power that has possessed. That day, if these disciples surrounded Judas Iscariot and they beat him to death, if all of them drew sword and they killed him there, do you know they wouldn't kill the Satan that entered him? No, they were not aware. The disciples were not aware that Satan entered him. They would think that it's Judas Iscariot that is the enemy among us. And if they kill him, Satan will go out. Go and look for another place again to enter. That is the mystery of what we are doing. We attack the ones we can see. But the real spirit that entered them to do these things, we don't sometimes touch them. But tonight, we are going to touch them. And we are going to touch all of them comprehensively. Look at what the Bible says in Revelation chapter 12. Look at verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. Why did Satan appear in dragon form? Why not appear in his real self as a fallen angel, the way he was created originally? Why does he need to enter into these creatures? So he came now as a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. Do you see that now? Now tell me, which ordinary dragon on his own can draw the third part of the stars of heaven? Are you seeing what I'm saying? But because Satan has entered into this dragon now, and the dragon is no longer ordinary dragon, now he can do what ordinary dragons cannot do. With the tail, he can pull 1/3 of the whole stars of heaven down. That's exactly what we are talking about. When Satan or these fallen angels or idols or the foundation possess these animals and human beings, they do what naturally they cannot do. They cause the level of damage naturally they are not empowered to cause. Now look at what followed. So he drew the whole top part of the stars of heaven, verse 2. And she being with child cried, traveling in birth and pain to be delivered. Now do you see this contrast now? Do you see this contrast? Now, if this dragon can pull 1/3 of the stars of heaven, a pregnant woman that wants to, does she have any chance? This is the case of believers in the front of these powers we are dealing with. This is exactly how it looks. On our own, we are completely vulnerable and powerless. We are exposed, except heaven intervenes, except the Lord himself stops them. If the Lord did not intervene, we have no chance. Some of the things the animals do in the dream, some of the things they do, is only God that is delivering us. It's only God that is helping us. So you can see the sharp contrast here. If the big stars of heaven cannot stand this dragon, is it a pregnant woman that is in labor that wants to stand against the dragon? So now look at what happened. And there appeared a great and having heaven, and instead drew the top part of heaven and cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Both the woman and the child, do they stand any chance here? He's just waiting for the woman to deliver the child, so that they will swallow the child. Verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations. Yes. Take note now. Satan get this angry, get terribly furious when he sees great destiny. Destiny that will impact humanity. Destiny that will affect nations. And if your destiny is that great, which I believe it is, and your destiny from God is that you are going to affect this earth positively, then you now know why Satan is possessing all kinds of things. Possess human beings, possess the foundation, possess animals, possess serpents. Everything against you is because of the destiny. Because of the destiny. You can see the destiny of this child is coming to rule the whole nation. Rule the whole nations. And Satan saw it and was waiting to swallow the child. And the child was miraculously caught up unto God and to his throne. Even the dragon didn't know how it happened. The dragon thought that it was a finished case already. The child has been delivered. The next thing is to swallow. And then something just happened that shocked the dragon. Just like it's going to happen here tonight. So the dragon just couldn't believe. The child just disappeared and was taken straight to the throne of God. And the woman fled into the wilderness. That's what we are specialists in doing. Flying, running. We run here today, we run in the dream. This is how we run. They pursue you here. You jump wall the other side. You jump gutter the other side. All these are the kind of things we specialists like this woman. Running. So she ran into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of God that they should feed her there 1,203 days. Verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angel fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels. So do you see that? The dragon is not alone. The dragon has angels. The dragon has angels. Some of these angels are the idol in your family. Hello? Are you with me? I say some of this dragon and his angel, this angel you see here, they are the idols in your foundation. They are the deities inside the river in your place. They are the different kind of idols worshipped in different parts of the world. That people bring sacrifice to, those are the angels. So they walk together with Satan. And look at what followed. So they fought and they prevailed not. And they were cast out. The dragon was cast out. That old serpent, do you see now? He uses dragon, he uses serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth. And his angels were cast out with him. And take note now, to make sure you are following me. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, look at the things they are saying in heaven because you didn't hear it. Now will come salvation and strength and kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ. That's in heaven. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. So heaven is rejoicing. Why are they rejoicing, brethren? Because they fought their own battle and won, they can rejoice. If we do not fight and win, look at what happened to the earth that has not fought any battle. He said they were cast down to the earth, isn't it? He said, now strength and the kingdom of our God, the power of his Christ, for the accuser of the cast down, verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death, verse 12. Therefore, rejoice. Heaven can rejoice because they have fought their battle and they won. And ye that dwell in them, he now said to the other people, woe to who? To the inhabitants of the earth. And who are the inhabitants of the earth? We human beings. He said, I pity you, you people living on earth. He said, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For who? For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knew that he had but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, what did he do immediately? Persecuted the woman. Take note of this. Persecution is done by human beings. It's human beings, governments, association, groups that persecute other group. So you now see what the dragon has done now. He has now entered inside human beings. He has now found human instruments to use to persecute his enemies. So you now just discover that they are persecuting me. I didn't do anything. Then you begin to attack the persecutors, not touching the dragon that is behind the persecution. So he said he persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man child, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth flood, water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. You see now, suddenly you just see somebody attacking us, pursuing us every day, throwing all kinds of trouble against us, wanting to drown us with flood of trouble, with floods of attack. And we are like, what did I do to this person? Satan behind all those things. Verse 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. Don't we keep the commandment of God? Don't we have the testimony of Jesus? That's what we are talking about. So if we are to attack, if we are going to fight, these are the whole forces. These are the whole forces that we have to fight against. I told you that where Satan does not use animals, he uses human beings. Sometimes he combines all of them, both human beings and animals together. Look at 2 Corinthians chapter 12. I told you that if your destiny is the type that is going to affect humanity, rescue people from hellfire, snatch people from the jaw of Satan, then be ready for this. This is exactly the pattern of Satan's operation. Look at 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Look at verse 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations. Brethren, has God not given us enough revelations in this church? Revelation that should exalt us beyond our widest dreams. Revelation that if they manifest, in fact, we will stand out. Has God not given us such revelations? Now look at what Paul said. That's the same revelation I got. But what happened to the revelations? He said, there was given to me. Who gave it to him? A thorn in the flesh. What? The messenger of Satan. Who could this messenger of Satan be? He says the messenger of Satan, and the assignment is what? Buffet him. Lest I should be exalted above. He said, don't allow him to be exalted though. Don't allow the revelation of God in his life to manifest. Don't allow all those promises of God to happen in his life. Just buffet him day and night until he will die. Now let me show you what Paul was saying. Let me show you. And let me show you also how those buffeting and the medium, the messenger he was talking about. Let me show you the messengers. Acts chapter 28. Acts of the Apostle 28. Look at verse 1. And when they were escaped because Paul had to escape. Earlier, if you read the previous chapters, something happened. When he went to Jerusalem, some 40 men came together and they bound themselves by a covenant, by an oath, that they will never eat or drink until they kill Paul. Now, that's the human messengers. Those are the human messengers. And they were determined with an oath upon their lives. They were determined to carry it out. Human messengers. And do you know they were almost succeeding? Just like that power of God that caught that child that was born and took the child to, that's how the power of God snatched Paul also. Because somebody now had where they were planning it and came and reported to the soldier. And told the soldier, look at what they are planning. That they will tell you to bring Paul out so that they can question him and ask him some questions. But when you bring him out, they will rush and attack him and kill him. So the soldier now took him and ran away. They put him in a ship going to Rome. They sent him to Rome. That's what the Bible says when they escaped. You know, sometimes we escape a lot of things in the dream, isn't it? We escape so many things in the dream. You wake up, you say, thank God I escaped this one. But how many times will we keep escaping like that? Because Paul had, you know, when Paul complained, when he said, messenger of Satan attached to me, when he cried to God, say, my grace, you have the power in you. You have the grace to deal with these people. Open your mouth and decree a thing and it will be established unto you. Deal with them in prayers. Paul was not fighting warfare. So you now see, they say they escaped. But do you think if you escape, Satan will give up? The woman that escaped in Revelation chapter 12, did he give up? So they escaped. Then they knew that the island was called Melita. Verse 3. And when Paul had gathered a bundle of, because he has escaped from human beings, so the messenger of Satan's. He escaped from human beings. Then he now finds himself in an island. Then they gathered a, because there was rain and everywhere was cold. So they gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire. And what happened? And there came a viper out of the heat. And who did the viper go for? Out of over 200 people in that ship, plus the community people that came out, viper did not see any other person. It's only Paul is following. Brethren, is this coincidence? Viper, is it not somebody that brought that wood, that carried the wood and carried the viper together and put it in that place until they made the heap and put fire? Why didn't the viper buy the person that brought the wood and everything? So the viper out of the heat came out and went straight for Paul and fasting on his hand. Who is the viper? Do you see now? He used human beings because human beings failed. To animals, he turned to serpents. And the serpents now succeeded and grabbed Paul's hand. What they forgot was that the Lord Jesus, before he left, he said, behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the powers of the enemy, and nothing shall by enemies hurt you. They forgot that the Lord told them that you shall, in my name, you shall drink even poison, you shall drink deadly things, it will not hurt you. You will take serpent and it will not hurt you. The Lord has taken care of all those things before he left. So this serpent came out and fastened to verse 4. And when the barbarians saw the venomous beast, it's not ordinary beast, it's a deadly serpent. It's a poisonous serpent. When they saw the venomous beast hang on his hand, they thought that's it. This serpent has killed him. So they said among themselves, no doubt this man is a murderer, whom though he had escaped the sea. Do you see that? Even unbelievers, even barbarians, they knew that this man has been escaping. He has been escaping so many things. Because Satan used elements. He used the storm. He used the sea. He used wave. He used all kinds of things. Tried human beings. And Paul escaped all of them. Now say, okay, animal, come in. He said, though he has escaped, yet vengeance suffereth not to live. And what did Paul do? He shook off the beast into the fire and felt no harm. That's what we are going to do here today. All the beasts, all the animals, all the serpents, and all kinds of creatures that Satan has been unleashing against us, we are going to shake them into the fire today. And we are not going to feel any hurt. Do you know, brethren, that when Paul did not die, they were waiting for him to fall down and die. And when he did not die, they started to bring sacrifices. They started to bring sacrifices. And they started to worship Paul. They said, no, this is not a human being. This is an idol. This is a deity. This is not ordinary. Because in their community there, that serpent does not attack people ordinarily. And if he attacks any person, the person does not survive it. They started to worship Saul. Why we have to take tonight's prayer very seriously? I want you to take this prayer seriously, brethren. Is because when human beings and animals are used by Satan, They are no longer operating by their own capabilities alone. Serpents are created with venoms. That's their own personal capability. When Satan or idol or deity now possesses them, it gets worse. It's no longer ordinary. Cats, dogs, pigs, cows, and all these things we see in the dream, on their own, they have a few things they can do. They can buy somebody, they can be limited in so many ways. And human beings will always prevail against them. But when a demon or a spirit enters inside them, they are no longer ordinary. And that's why you see that most times, the dreams, you don't always like the ending, because they are not operating by their own power. Now we are in the physical now. Now we have access to spiritual weapons. Now we can fight them. Now we can decree things, and it will be done for us. Now is the time for us to make a comprehensive destruction of them. Look at verse 8. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. Who is the wicked? Satan. Shall that wicked be revealed? Anytime the Bible is talking about Satan, either I call him wicked or serpent or dragon and so on, he says it shall be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And we have the spirit of God in us. We have the spirit of Jehovah God in us. And we are going to speak the word from our mouth to consume that wicked power. Look at what he said further. He said, God will consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Now, look at verse 9. He's talking about the wicked. He's talking about Satan. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan. We're talking about Antichrist here. When Satan will give his power to Antichrist. He said he's working, all his operation, all his activities, everything he'll be doing is going to be the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. That's why we have to take this prayer seriously. The serpent you have been seeing in the dream, they are not operating by their own power. They are operating by the power of Satan. The animals you have been seeing in the dream. And that's why I've seen people come to tell me that they've seen animals that are speaking English, speaking Yoruba, speaking all kinds of things to them in the dream. Because they are not just ordinary animals. They are messengers of Satan. But today, the Lord has given us the power, and the Spirit of God is upon us. And we have wonderful weapons. Weapons that the enemies cannot stand. Effectual weapons. Weapons that can destroy both spirit beings, animals, birds, serpents, kingdoms, that can break stones, that can destroy any bunker they might want to run into. We have capable weapons, and we have the army of heaven. The brethren, that same army that defeated Satan when he went to fight in heaven, we have that army on our side. And today we are going to fight. Let's stand up. We are going to cry out unto the Lord like this. My God and my Father, I thank you for what you want to do here today. Holy Father, I present myself before you. I acknowledge all my sins.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hillary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.